Thank you. Thanks, Jessica. We're back on with round 8. We have got Austin Shin playing Rick Kennedy. Austin Shin, who, of course, the 2017 UK national champion. He has won this event several times, I believe. I haven't checked exactly how many. I'll have a look after this game, or during if I get the opportunity. So, Rick is starting. He has picked 3 E's. He is an R short of N fierce, but he won't get that R because it's his turn first. So he's got no bonus. Something like fence doesn't look unreasonable to me, which would score 28. It would leave him with IE, which is not ideal. But I think the score of that with the F on the double letter is worth going for. And it looks like he's done that quite quickly without too much thoughts there. Austin has got 2 A's and 2 I's, which is there's sometimes something there when you've got 2 A's and 2 I's. And he has got an 8 that is playable on this board. He hasn't got a 7, but there is an 8 that is playable. I would probably expect a player of Austin's ability to spot this one. I'll just give you a couple of moments to have a think about what it might be, but Austin does have a playable 8, and that is the only play, really. I suppose if he were to miss the 8, something like Filaria down from the F would get rid of those vowels. That would be Filaria, a non-bonus play. But the bonus is the thing to go for here, and I've given you enough time. The bonus would be iatrical. iatrical, iatrical. So I hadn't spoiled that myself. I was using Ziziva to look that one up. I'd like to think I'd spot it if I was actually playing the game, but I'm trying to get the plays to you as quick as possible. And yeah, Filaria is a backup play, but if you spot the bonus, you've got to play iatrical. Airlift 20. It's not as good as Filaria, though, I would say. Filaria takes several end hooks. It takes an E, an L, or an N. So it's a pretty suboptimal play. Austin is taking his time over this. I would hope he would have seen the bonus. I wonder if he's looking to see if he's got anything better. We're getting a video shot now. We can't tell much from body language with Austin generally. He's not a player that I associate with having many tells when he plays. He always looks pretty composed. He's going for something. He's left the tile on his rack. What has he played here? I think he might have played airlift by the position on the board. No, he's played Filaria. Okay. So that's a miss from Austin. I have to be honest, I might have missed that myself. It's not an easy play. Rick has no 7s. He has no possible 8s either with this rack. I would say that MEK are the tiles I would be looking to get rid of if at all possible. I might also try and get rid of the I. Something like Mike, possibly. I'm not seeing a good position to play it though. In terms of rack leave, I quite like Kame at 11C, Kame. It only scores 20 though, but it's a decent rack leave, REIN. I might be looking to score slightly higher though, something with that I, the second I of Filaria maybe. Something like EKE. It's not the greatest leave though with that. That would score 30. Mike, oh, you can play Mike for 45 at 15A. Oh yes, making Filaria. Yeah. I'd mentioned the hook earlier and instantly forgotten about it, and Merkin will play there for 51. We won't go into Merkin and its definitions. I'll leave you to look that up for yourself. Quackle thinks Mike is best. It leaves a more stable rack. It scores 6 points less than Merkin, but it's leaving a more stable leave ENR. Is that Re-Ink being played? Re-Ink would score 42, leaving ME, and it's making Filarian. Filarian has been challenged. It is good. Filaria does not take an S, it takes an E, an N, and an L. And so that is 42 plus 5 for that play. It's an emotive time for Austin with this rack. With an R, he's got overtime, and there is an R available there, but it's only a face value bonus, that one. So you'll probably be looking to play emotive. It looks like he's played emotive from 9H. I was going to suggest 7H, but they're pretty similar. It's a quick fire game so far. I would doubt there's a 7 with this rack. It doesn't look familiar as a rack that makes a 7 for Rick, and it doesn't make any 8s either, having checked it. But there are probably scoring opportunities here. Off the top of my head, to begin with, 25 points for MY to the triple word score from 8N. Leaves a rack of DRIVE, which is not too bad. I wonder if the players will have half a mind on re-inking, which could become a possibility later in the game. So will they be looking to hold on to I's, N's, etc. With that possibility in mind? They wouldn't sacrifice a lot to do that. They wouldn't sacrifice a lot of points to do that, but it might be something they have in the back of their minds. There is also my for 34 from 10I, making and oi. So there are some options here. I'd be looking to get rid of the M and the Y. Actually, looking at the rack again, I don't know where I got the idea that Rick had a V from. He doesn't. He would, if he plays MY, he will leave TIRED, which is a very nice leave. I'd say no 7s. MY is the play for 34. I think that's what I'd have done. Once again, Austin has quite a vowly rack. It does make 1-8. It doesn't make any 7s. It does make 1-8, but not on this board. And Austin may be in some trouble here, because if I'm right, Rick has unblockable 8s next time. So Austin has got to balance this rack. With the rack that Rick has, he has Into Bed, INTERBED, which will play in. And there's a number of that's an 8-letter word. There are a number of E's on the board, and they can't all be blocked. I mean, Austin has, if he wants to get rid of a lot of tiles here, he has Taladi as a 6-letter play. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to score a massive amount here. The ideal leave would probably be TAID, I think, or possibly TAD. Doughty for 22 is Quackle's top suggestion. That's at B10, leaving AL. It's a tough rack, this, because he can't score a massive amount. He's played Vigil, which is not bad. That was quite high up there. I would expect Into Bed to go down from Rick here somewhere. Just check if he's got anything else. If there was a U, turbined or underbit would be possible. There isn't a U in the right place, but he has got 2 spots that I can see at least that he can play Into Bed. One place for 75 at E2 and 74 at N3. Both are 2 spots I could see. And funnily enough, Quackle has spotted them both as well. So Rick plays Into Bed for 75. Austin needs a T for Tetraxon. Rick has just given to him. Let's see if he's got anything else with that. Nope, I'm pleased with myself for spotting the only bonus there. Having checked, there is no other 7, and Tetraxon plays for Tetraxon plays for varying scores. It's 96 or 82. It's one of those strange ones where, yeah, 96 for Tetraxon because you can get the X on the double letter. The first one I spotted was the place where it played for 82, but yes, the X goes on the double letter. And Rick has an interesting rack. He's got the J and Z. Joy for 40 is possible from 3I. And Joy for 60 is in fact possible from G3. Yes for 68 from 3G. Thanks to Jessica for helping out with those ones. Something like he could also, if he wants to use his S, which he probably won't, play something like Joel's. He's played Joe. Joey's is possible as well for 65. I thought he played for a minute there. I'm just looking around the board to see if there's anywhere else. That spot is very. That one spot is quite appetising. I think that may be where he's focusing. There is a possibility of Oyez from L12 down, which would be 61, 63. There's lots of scoring plays here with these tiles. I'd be tempted to use the J and try and hold on to the Z. I think something like Joy for 60, and then you keep the Z. Coming from Jessica here, Rick sneezed and almost fell backwards off the chair. is the live report from the studio. I didn't actually see that myself, but that is a report live from the room. Yeah, I think JOY for me. You can get a few extra points using the Z, but JOY at 3G. And you possibly Jolly for 62 at 14. J. Yeah, that might be better. The SEZ leave might be better than the ELSZ leave. And also there's 2 extra points in there as well. It is a bit more attacking. It's a bit more open. Bit torn there. Quackle is liking Jolly, with Joy in second. And it's favouring those over the players that use the Z, even though the players that use the Z score more points. This is because the Z is a better tile to have in your rack than the J is. It's likely that if you hold on to the Z, you'll be able to score a bit later on. Looking at it again, Jolly is probably the ideal play because it leaves that ZO spot open for the next time or the ZA. What I'm trying to say is that Jolly will leave that spot at the top of the board, which he may not get to use next time, but it does leave that possibility. It's thinking a play ahead, Jolly. Okay, Zo is the play. ZO. I'm not too keen on that. I think Jolly was strong. I don't like the rack leave of it. So I'm not sure about that one. Oh, Zo does leave a guaranteed jelly though. That is a good point that Jessica made to me there. But I still don't like it personally. It only leaves a guaranteed jelly if that spot isn't taken, of course. Austin has no 7 and no 8. I'd be looking to get rid of some of his goo if I were him. And he has got rid of his goo by playing for a pretty decent 29 points. For Rick now, Jelly, he has got that jelly spot. And has he played Jelly? He also had a possibility of JG, JAYGEE. Looks like he's played a quick Jelly. We're gonna have to work hard to keep up with these two here. Don't think there's just looking at Austin's rack here. I think has there been a challenge here? No, there can't have been a challenge. Jelly. We seem to have a bit of a moment where the two players are talking to each other. You don't get very often. No 7 for Austin. There are 8s with this rack. I'm looking to see if the appropriate tiles are there for them. Traitors doesn't fit. Oh, Traitors does fit. I was looking at that R, thinking the Traitors didn't fit. Traitors does fit. It scores 59. It's not an awful lot. I was thinking of Story 8, but there's no Story 8. It's just Story 8'd for a 9, which is also a Droitist. Oh, aortitis fits as well. I'd seen that aortitis was a possibility, but I hadn't seen that eye. And that's been played by Austin? So there have been some good spots in this game. There was that one that got away. Iatrical got away, but aortitis is a very nice spot on this board. Rick would need an N for Kaganas. Let's just see what he has got. No 7. He needs an E for acreages. Or gear case. Yep, acreages plays from N3. Gearcase will also play from the same spot, doesn't score as much. I don't even know, well, probably does score as much because the C would go on the triple letter. So a number of spots for acreages in Gearcase. Gearcase at N2 scores 84, which is the best score he's going to get for this rack. Cartages fits at C1 down, which is, oh no, not quite, doesn't fit C1 down, sorry about that. I once lost a league title on that in a club game, thinking something fitted when it didn't. Or no, something was the other way around, thinking something didn't fit when it did. Yeah, so I think Gearcase, I mean, hopefully Rick will have seen the possibilities of bonuses here. He's taking some time over this, so I don't know whether he's not seen the moves, or he's weighing up which move is best. But those look like the best plays to me. The bonus plays are the ones. There's nothing else up bonus plays here, really. Looking at Austin's rack's not too great. I mean, look at the game situation. Rick is on 297, Austin's on 306, so it's close. You'd have to favour Rick slightly at the moment, with Rick having this bonus on his rack, as long as he spots it. As long as he gets a bonus down here, he will become favourite, especially given the rack that Austin has at the moment. I'm gonna make a prediction that if Rick would play Gearcase for 84, I would be thinking maybe 80% win on that. Quackle will no doubt prove me to be a fool. 85. I went too conservative. 86 even. And a play has been made. I'm just waiting to see which play it is. A Garrick from A Garrick. So Rick has missed the bonus. Austin must have something that plays up there for a decent score, I would think. Wall for WAUL score 24. I'm struggling a bit to see. I would be looking to get one of these high-scoring tiles on the double letter score. Loft plays for 33, but I'm struggling a bit to see any way of getting the big scoring tiles, the F or the W. Oh, Lauf, Lauf, would be 33, which is the same score as Waft. Waft gets rid of slightly more awkward letters. Yeah, I think I'd prefer Waft because it does leave a vowel on the rack and gets rid of a W and the F. Of course, you could play a cross. You could play something like FAP. FAP is 46. Doesn't leave a particularly good. No FAP. Sorry, I'm getting confused there. No A on the rack. I'm thinking of the A that we were using on the triple. But something like pull, PUL, 32. That might be reasonable. Sapful for 45 is a suggestion from Quackle. I don't like using the S. Maybe Quackle thinks it's best. Wistful is a possibility. Where's Wistful? 13C. That would be brave. It would leave the 9 timer open. I think I would go for Waft. I think I would go for Waft. This is probably why Quackle wins more games than I do, because I'm looking at Quackle's choices and I'm still thinking Waft is best, which is only number 6 on Quackle's choices. But it's certainly a tough one because Austin's taking some time. So Waft is the play. Rick has possibly had slightly more, I hope he wouldn't mind me saying, slightly more luck than he perhaps deserves here. Having missed a bonus on the last go, he has picked up a blank. He's got re-raised. He's got Aniseed, is the top scoring move for 83 according to Quackle. Re-raised for 59 was the first thing I spotted. Aniseed would open another 9 timer though. Steadier for 80 at A8 would probably be better, and it looks like he's played that. It's difficult to keep up with this game because both these players are not even-paced players. They're certainly, well, I think in general they're not even-paced players. They're certainly not playing at even pace in this game. There are some moves that are taking a long time. There are some moves that are being played very quickly. Austin now has plush with an S and an N. I'm going to stick my neck out and say there's no 7s or 8s there. And I'm right. He could play plush from 12k, which would score 28. Using the U that's already on the board, that would leave him SUN. PUH for 26 from M1 down. But I like getting rid of one of those S's really. Duplicate tiles are never good, even if they're good tiles. So if you have 2 S's, it's worth getting rid of one of them really. Jessica's putting accept blanks. I would even argue that if you've got 2 blanks, it might be worth getting rid of one of them for 30 or 40. Okay, so we're waiting for Quackle to give us some choices on this. I quite like plush, but let's see if Quackle can come up with something better. There's PUH from C11 down as well, but again, it's still leaving you with the 2 S's. Just trying to remember whether PUH takes an S. Only takes an A. I was thinking it was probably one that didn't. So this is obviously a difficult play here for Austin, because he's taking his time, and Quackle took quite a long time to come up with push for 27 at M1. Opening the 9 timer. Quackle being a computer will play with no fear, but my suggestion of plush is not even given as a choice. I suppose part of the reason why push is good is because Austin is behind on quite a tight board, so he needs to open the board up to give himself a bonus opportunity. There are places where bonuses can be played at the bottom of the board. There's also the E of emotive where you can play a bonus down to. The bonuses at the bottom of the board would not be very high scoring in the main. Yeah, push scores and just gives a little bit of a more open board. The win percentages in general are not looking good for Austin at this point. There are 11 tiles in the bag, one of which is a blank. I can't see Rick's rack at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what Rick's got. Rick has not got very good tiles at all. So Austin would be perfectly safe playing push. He's not going to get a 9 timer against him playing that. Yeah. So I think I'd go with Quackle's choice of push on this one. Now it's been a long day for the players. I mean, I made that mistake before, thinking I had an A when I didn't have an A, and I blame that on tiredness. And I haven't been playing all day. These players have been playing for several hours now, so the thinking must be getting harder and harder to do. You know, having played in long tournaments like this, you get to the end of the day and the last 2 or 3 games can be hard work, especially after the dinner break. So it's not surprising that Austin is really having to think here. So there are some nice tiles around. Most of them seem to be in the bag, apart from the 2 S's on Austin's rack. And getting some visual footage from the room. Just looking to see if I can see Austin's clock there. It looks about 7 minutes, just under 7 minutes. So he's got time really. He's going to have to get this moved down fairly quickly, I think, if he wants to have enough time to think about the end game. But it could be crucial what he does here. Just going back to where these 2 players are in the tournament, they're both on 5-2, and there's only 6 points of spread separating them at the moment. Rick is on +181 spread, and I think Austin is on +175. There's only one player in the tournament who is on 6 wins. That is Rafał Dominishak. He's on 6 out of 7 at the moment. In second place is Phil Robertshaw, and in third place is Diane Pratese. Were Diane to win the event, she would be the first woman to win a major for 6 years, and the first woman to win the Winter Matchplay for 22 years. So if she can keep going at the top, that would be an achievement. Meanwhile, Austin is still thinking over this tricky rack. So, hands on the tiles now. Something is going down. That sounds like a call of 23. Has he played Hules? He's played Pearls. P-U-R-L-S, making zags. Rick has got a horror show of a rack. I'm almost wondering whether it might be worth Rick changing 7 tiles here, although the queue is still unseen, so he may not fancy picking that up, although it has scoring potential. Something like VOW, which plays at M 1, but that does open up a 9 timer. Up go for 30 is a Quackle suggestion. There is a change on the list. Quackle's 5th choice is to change everything except the P. Bog, is that being played? Bog is being played for 24. That's quite a long way down the list on what Quackle is thinking of. Now, Austin has picked the blank, but he has also picked the Q, and he has picked another H to go with the one he already had. So it's going to be difficult for Austin to sort his rack out here, and he's got a limited amount of time to do it. I'm wondering if it might be worth Austin playing a setup play here. I'm wondering if he might think of playing something like HAH from M2, setting up Shah. There are plenty of vowels unseen, 2 of which are U's. Austin could potentially set up a big Q play by playing HAH from M2 down. I mean, his only other alternative is to work himself into a position where he can get a bonus, and that is going to be very difficult with the tiles he's got. He could also play HAH from 15I, setting up the potential of something like QINS. He will effectively have the QINS on his rack. Because he's got QNS blank. So I'm wondering if those setup plays might be worth thinking about. Because it always feels like a big gamble when you do something like that. You know, it could get blocked. There's the possibility of a blocking play. But I think he's got the selfish advantage there. I can't see any other tile. Quackle likes HAH at 15I. Yeah, that looks pretty reasonable. It's the only win percentage being given that's more than 50%. Yeah, that QIN for 13 at 7k. It still leaves the 2 H's though, which is going to be difficult to bones with. HAH has been played. That is a very strong play from Austin there. I was very pleased to spot that possibility myself, actually. But to actually be in there playing the game and to spot it is good. And he's now he's picked the eye he needs, so he doesn't even have to use his blank. He also has possibility of quinones. Rick is talking. Suggests to me that Rick thinks he might be in trouble. Rick can block the sharp play by putting ED on the end of re-ink. He can play re-inked. It leaves him with a horrendous rack. Austin has a bonus to go down next time from N2. So this is going to be Austin's game, but and Rick must know that he's got the bonus, because or at least must be sure that he's close to the bonus, because there is only one tile in the bag. Just trying to do the permutations in my head here. What are the chances of Austin not having a bonus with the 8 unseen? If either of yeah, it looks like it's impossible for Austin. Even from Rick's perspective, even with one tile in the bag, it looks like it's impossible for Austin not to have a bonus here. I think Rick's got to play re-inked and hope. But then what does he do? I think he's got no chance. Michael is suggesting we for 20. Now I'm forgetting about Rick's lead. Rick does have that big lead, so if he blocks the bonus, he can give himself a chance. Quackle is giving a win percentage of 12.5 on several moves. So it means that means he's dependent on what's in the bag. And Rick's plays Veep. Now, I'm not a good enough player to have worked out what the tile Rick is depending on is at the moment. He's played Veep, W, U, do. He needs to pick a U, I think. I expect that he needs to pick a U for Wadu. Should he have 5 tiles? Oh, Rick has 5 tiles. I was reading. Oh yeah, there's 8 in the bag there. He played 4, so yes. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I thought there was only one in the bag. Okay, so Austin has played QINS for 99, which puts him 37 clear. Rick, if what we've been seeing on Quackle was correct, Rick would now have Wadu to play out with. But it looks like that was wrong. Oh, I see. Okay. Veep is in. Veep has been put in a different position. Okay, Veep was played in a different spot from the one we were seeing on the screen. Yeah, so Veep has been played at N7, not where it was originally placed at M2, which is why. So Rick has now not got a win. Rick has got nothing that wins. I think if he had played Veep in the other spot, Wadu might have won. Okay, so that's game over by the look of it. Sorry for the confusion at the end. There was a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. So the crucial move really was that hard play setting up Keynes and Shah. That gave Austin a very strong chance of winning. So the final scores are the wrong way round at the moment by the looks of it. It should be 482 to Rick and 506 to Austin. And it all hinged on that HAH in the end. I haven't worked out all the connotations, but there were. Okay. Anyway, let's leave those connotations for now. So there's a few things going on with Quackle at the end there that I wasn't quite sure of. But yes, a good game. There was a missed bonus from Rick at one point. There was a missed bonus from Austin. But yeah, the decisive factor, repeating myself again, but the decisive factor was that HAH